easy, just don't show it. You can hurt somebody and...
I'll ask you your questions. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi everybody, I'm Ian Fay. I'm from St. Louis, Connecticut. I play the guitar, I write, I play harmonica, I'm learning piano, I play trumpet. My dad is big in the theater and on Broadway, and I grew up listening to a lot of music. There's a piano in my house. I was made to take private lessons for the trumpet. I loved Louis Armstrong, Dizzy Gillespie, Miles Davis, and all these guys.
At the next light, turn left.
So that's where my original musical inspiration comes a lot from, the old blues and folk and jazz and stuff like that. That's my favorite. That's what I like the most.
Nice. Well, I wanted to ask you a couple questions, just kind of a little bit more about yourself and how you view music and, you know, the music industry,
At
or
the
just
light, turn left onto North Main Street.
or just kind of what your thoughts
How
are.
I view music right now?
Well, I guess, you know, I would ask you, you know, what does your music mean to you?
Music means to me. Music means.
What does
to
your
me-
music, not even music in general, but what does your music personally mean to you? The music that you create.
My music compared to me? I mean, that's like, I think you'd have to listen to the songs. I think you have to listen to the songs because I try to write down stuff that, you know, there's definitely a level of metaphor and meaning and stuff that you have to read into. I don't just spell everything out. I don't think that that's really a good way to write music. Some people write music like that, but I like to write music that is a little bit more embellished, as people say. So to me, in my music personally, I think it's kind of like one and the same. I guess if you ask what music in general is, then you start to bring up like the industry, the music industry and stuff. But also like my music, because I think music is so personal that by me asking me what my music is, it's going to be kind of close to how I think of music in general, and that is that it should have a meaning, it should have a purpose, it should have something more
behind it. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel that the music that you're creating right now can enter into the hearts of a nation, or is it for people specifically? What do you think your music
Everybody, this is Sasha Fay. Turn the camera around now so it's my lovely production assistant asking about whether my music, our music, can enter the hearts of the American people. I'd certainly like to hope so, and I'd certainly like to think that anybody who makes music wants it to go into the hearts of whatever community that they're playing for. I'm not trying to say that I want to be famous. Maybe I want to be rich a little bit. I just want to do what I love. I want to do what I love, and I want to be able to make a living off it. Do I have to be like Justin Bieber? No. You know, I mean, being like Justin Bieber can be a scary thing. I would rather just be able to make my craft, do my craft, and, you know, live out my life doing what I like. So I don't have to go to some job that I hate every morning. I mean, that's what a lot of people are doing right now.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about that. It's a tough question. it's one that a lot of people skirt around because they're too afraid to say that they want to do something dangerous, which making music can be dangerous. There's a lot of instances of musicians who, you know, make it to a certain level and then die under auspicious circumstances, either because what they were saying was, you know, whatever. I mean, a lot of it I think had to do with the rights. When people start to get famous and they weren't really good at business, and then they start to get ahead for business after being in it for so long, and they start to try and take things back. And then there's also just kind of a level of immorality that can accumulate around the music scene a lot.
Do you think that it's only about rights and royalties and other people wanting to you know, tap into someone else's success and take their money? Or do you think that there is an ability, or do you believe that there is an ability that, you know, sometimes art or artists and activism are one and the same?
And then there are rare instances, exactly. That was kind of the second, it was like a two-parter answer. The second part was that well, I'm kind of off on a tangent right now, but the second part of what I was saying was that then there are some people who are the really legendary people who just simply by writing their music is so full of meaning and so full of agitation and so full of difference and so full and cuts just against the grain of the status quo that we're at, that's enough to just get them killed, basically. Guys like Bob Marley did that.
Continue onto Main Street.
I mean, he didn't get actually killed, but there was an assassination attempt on him. And, you know, there's people like protest singers. Look at the deer.
Oh, did I capture that?
The deer crossing.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Super cool. Nature, huh?
Uh-huh. And, yeah. There's a long history
At the
of
stop
that.
sign, turn left onto Federal Street.
Not a long history. There's
Yeah,
people out
there's a
there
history.
who...
Maybe a long history, who knows?
I mean, yeah. We live in, do I go left or right here?
Oh, let's see. You are going left.
There is a history. In America, we're pretty lucky because...
I would have caught him on camera if he,
Because...
sorry.
In 1 mile, turn
we're
left
trying to
onto
get
South
paid.
Street.
Because we can make music like that. And did you know that I think there's a president in Africa right now who's a pop musician. I'm not sure if he's still around, but there was a president in an African country. I forgot. You can Google it. He's the number one pop star, and he's also their president. So there's, you know, there's that too. There's music that's directly tied to issues, which isn't that big of a deal here in America, but definitely in other countries you can get in deep trouble.
Yeah.
Disappear by the art that you make.
Take a left on South Street here. Do you think that activism
Turn left onto South Street.
plays a role in your music, or do you think that that's just kind of how you are and it translates or transcends your music?
I think that activism...
In half a mile, turn right onto Main Street.
I think that activism is something that you can get pigeonholed into as an artist, because a lot of art is so liberal, and being liberal, and the word liberal is kind of a dirty word that I don't think deserves the dirtiness that it has. But that
At the next stop sign, turn right.
also has a very kind of XYZ type of dogma that you have to believe in order to qualify, and that true art, in order to be creative, has to be spontaneous, and it has to have that at least initial set of conditions that allow you to be free and do whatever you want. You can't go into it. You can go into it thinking that you want to do something, but from a broader sense, you can't think that your art has to be a certain way to qualify for art.
In a quarter mile, keep left onto Main Street.
Do you think that in this era of social media and social presence, that, you know, we pigeonholed ourselves to having to be on
Main Street.
Having to be on social media in order to be creative, or to find
in a
creative
mile, turn left onto Greenfield Road,
or to find like creative inspiration?
I don't think that there's any type of necessity to being on social media to be creative. I think that you can be creative anywhere you want, anytime in your life, but I think that you have to be on social media in some sense if you want to be successful as a creative person.
turn left onto
Unless you've
Greenfield
already
Road.
established
Then
a
the
name for
destination is
yourself,
on your left.
and even then, you probably should still be on it.
Mr. Jinx and Miss Lucy, they jump